Hi everyone, this would be a very unprofessional video. I apologize for that. However, I need to kind of get this out there. Some of you have been asking, why did I go to Egypt? So the reason I went to Egypt, was, as I said, research and meeting friends that I've made for the past 2-3 years. But there's another reason, one that's more of a secret, and I don't feel like sharing it. However, I will say that it dealt more with the personal issue, and me being in Egypt actually helped that. I was able to kind of bypass some of my issues there, so it was definitely a very unique experience, and I had a lot of fun there. But it was also a saddening experience as well. Now, I won't say that I'll be able to go back again, but I do hope to go back again. Whenever I went there, I actually had planned on being there for a month or two, but that didn't work out as I couldn't find an apartment at the time that I needed to, so it ended up blowing a lot of money at the hotels, and hotels with no hot water. So it was somewhat a horrifying experience whenever you have no hot water, and the toilet, doesn't work, or the bathroom door gets locked, or all of those things actually did happen. So it was, and by horrifying, that's an exaggeration. But I mean, to me, I just had a lot of fun there. The one thing that was fun was the traffic. You'd have to jump in and out between the cars and hope that you didn't get hit, and hope that they, I'm sure they were hoping they didn't hit you. But that was fun too. It was a thrilling experience, and I enjoyed my time. I enjoyed my time there. I did end up getting sick there, and I've been sick for the past 5 weeks now, I think. So 4 or 5 weeks now. So it's been a rough experience, being sick, going on the train and getting off the train and flying and all that while being sick. It was definitely pretty rough, but I'm surviving. But as for PCOR9, some other people have been asking, what's the future for that, and I've even been asking myself, what's the future for PCOR9? And there's been, I have a friend who told me I need to get rid of, social media and stuff like that, because, we're being looked at. So if we go for a job, they're going to look at our Facebook, our YouTube. They're going to be trying to figure us out and see what we are like, as people, and whether or not they want to hire us. So being Christians, especially one with a critic of Islam, they're not going to want that, more than likely. But I think that, you should be able to set aside, whether the person has the capabilities of doing something versus, and especially if they keep things away from interfering with their job. But companies aren't seeing it like that anymore, and they're discriminating based on, your beliefs and things like that. So have to be very careful, but I'm trying to restructure, or help restructure PCOR9 into something that actually does have missions, that does have goals, and just a few. So I'm talking to a few people, and we're going to kind of go into rebuilding what was the initial goal. But at the same time, I've been going back over it in my mind, and there are a few things that do have to change, and going to Egypt was one thing that actually helped me understand parts of PCOR9 itself, in the especially the verses. So I believe that, because of that, I'm going to be able to explain those verses a bit better and explain the reasons why we do what we do and how we're going to keep continuing doing what we're doing. At the moment, it's been more of a network where we're just like kind of allowing people to join, but there needs to be safeguards. There needs to be specific details that I haven't instituted yet, and I plan on doing so. You need to know what exactly we believe, why we believe it, how can we believe it, and why me personally, why I disagree with other religions, and why and I'm not saying that I am PCOR9. It's not that, but I do, as being the founder of it, I have to make sure everything is aligned. And I'm noticing that like a lot of apostolic Pentecostals, they're having a lot of trouble. They're fighting back and forth over doctrine and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, we should be able to kind of figure this thing out, but no one seems to want to do that. So I can't say that I figured it all out, but I can say that at least we can be a bit more specific in the reasons why why I believe the way I do, and why I think people should check this out. And of course, I'm open to having people kind of throw in things that they find and things that they believe, but it has to be Bible based. And if it's something that's progressive revelation, then there's not really a way we can add that in if it's not Bible based. So again, like I said, there is going to be a restructuring of PCOR9, but I do believe that it we need to it needs to continue. I really want it to continue. I believe that it's going to help people, but and I mean, our blogger knowledge base, I mean, it's good stuff. I mean, it really is good stuff. I do believe it's good stuff, and it's we have a lot of visitors from Hong Kong. We have a lot of visitors, and mainly from Hong Kong. There's a lot of, it's not Chinese, it's actually Hong Kong, and then of course a few dotted around the world. But most of our traffic is, of course, America and Hong Kong, and I did not expect that. And I don't believe it's bots. I'm not seeing a whole lot of bot activity. I'm seeing some, but we have had definitely some activity in Hong Kong that's not bot activity, and the same thing, we're not having AI activity in America, so that's pretty neat. And I have been thinking about, kind of going further in this. Personally, I do coding, so I like to try my hand at learning new skills and things like that. So I'm kind of in between trying to do that, and at the same time trying to run this and do more research and things like that. So it's and right now at the place that I'm at, it's going to get a lot harder, but I am wanting to pursue ministry a bit, more, just because I see the way churches are being ran. I see the way pastors can be. I see the way some pastors really are. I see how everything's operating, and it's like, I read the Bible and I'm like, okay, there are major differences between what they're doing versus what the Bible's saying. So I wouldn't mind getting to a point, helping a church out, whatever it takes to kind of help put Christ back into the perspective, into to focus on the way church is really supposed to be, and but that's very hard to do. So I'm going to have to get creative on the ways that I can do something along those lines. So who knows? I might end up starting something if I have to. Which is, a lot of people do not like it. A lot of people do not want young people to do things, to start things, because they feel that they should be in charge of telling a young person what to do. And I've been there, done that, and I'm out of it now. I don't agree with how these people operate now. And they're so wishy-washy. They have so many mixed emotions about it. So they're always back and forth over it. They never really can agree. And it's like, if you're going to do it, just do it right. Just do it right. And these people can't. for some reason. So I do believe that that's the way PCOR9 should be going, is to just do things right. To just do it right. If you're going to be a Christian, be a Christian right. That doesn't mean that you're not going to make mistakes. That doesn't mean that that you won't have failures, but that even through your failures, even through your mistakes, you're going to keep striving. And if you keep striving and you keep trying to do right, and you keep, if you do right and then you do wrong, but then you go right back to righting that wrong, you're doing right. You keep aiming to do right. That's what you're doing. And as long as you might miss every now and then, but if you keep repairing, if you keep struggling to right those misses, to keep hitting the mark, then you'll actually hit the mark eventually, and you'll be set on it. And that's what we kind of want to do, is we want to help foster communication and community, and at the same time open arms and loving arms, and getting down to people's level at the same time, not doing what they do in the same sense. We used to have people who would go to the strip clubs, and they would get down to the people's level, but they wouldn't actually join. They wouldn't join strippers on the pole or whatever. They wouldn't do that. They, like I said, they would get down to their level. They would get down to their understanding, but they wouldn't exactly do what they do. But every circumstance is different. We have people in the Middle East that are Christians who pretty much do what everyone else does, but they have a few slight differences because they are Christians. So they have the same understanding. They have a lot of the same customs, the same culture and things like that. But they do a few things differently because they're not going to disregard what they believe and just follow what everybody else does. So. In fact, there are actually, I believe, some of they're great examples for what Paul says in 1 Corinthians 9. Now, I understand I've been rambling for kind of like 13 minutes, so I will end the video. Just like I said, this video is kind of explaining where we're going at, where we're heading, and hopefully you'll start seeing some more activity soon. I plan on, like I said, restructuring it, and we're probably going to be adding on someone else. So, with that being said, goodbye and thanks for watching.